Hello, OLA.
And welcome to another edition of OLA This Week.
Welcome back to school, Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Welcome back. How was your Christmas and New Year's?
It was delightful. It was just, 2 weeks off with friends and family, and the celebration of Christmas was beautiful. We had, I had the good fortune of being able to attend Christmas Eve Mass at OLA at the 4 p.m. Mass. It's a very busy Mass with a lot of people, but it is a really beautiful celebration of Christmas. We have our youth come and they do a kind of a living version of what the scriptures are for the Christmas Eve Mass, and they do such a tender job. It's like I always call it a Christmas Hallmark card.
Wow.
Yeah. How was Christmas with you and your family?
Oh, it was wonderful. My first experience back into education and having a full, break at the same time. My son was off, so it was really great quality family time for me, and so I was really happy to have that time.
I remember reading a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh, yeah.
And the 7th habit is sharpen the saw. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that time off gives us time to just breathe and come back sharper for the work that we have to do in this important ministry. So it is a blessing to have that time off. And I understand your daughter was back from Hawaii.
She was. Yeah, Madison came home from Hawaii, so it was great to have her. She's still home. She goes back on Saturday. So, yeah, it's very special to have the whole family together.
It is. I've spoken to a lot of parents who have had their kids come back from college, and then now they're having to leave again, so they're a little sad, but very grateful for the time that they had.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a time to reflect and think of things anew and make resolutions moving forward.
Absolutely.
So that a time to really ponder what's important in our lives. And you and I had a great class yesterday, our leadership class. We spoke with the students in leadership about setting goals and how important that is, and having a resolution, and striving towards something, continue. And I shared with them about swimming. You have to swim. Swimming in a direction is so much easier than just treading water. If you're treading water, it's very difficult. But if you have a direction, and a resolution can be that, for each year you can have a direction to swim and to improve yourself. So I'm glad that we're looking at, and we're asking young people to look at their future and making resolutions as part of that.
That's right. If you look at the word resolution, the word actually breaks down into 2 parts. Re-solution.
Right.
So I'm going to find a new solution to an old problem.
Sure.
It's kind of that whole idea of self-reflection. The unexamined life is not worth living. So we find these solutions to areas of our life that need that solution, or because we're human beings, and sometimes we have to redouble our efforts. It's trying again to get better at an area of our life that needs that work.
Right.
We as Mr. Moore said, we were talking in leadership yesterday about goals, and the reason why is because we're wrapping up our self-study for WCA WASC. As you may know, we have a team visiting us, and so everybody has to play a part in our self-study, including our students. And so our students were kind of helping us look at the goals that we were setting, and so that's what got us kind of into talking about resolutions. And
that's right.
One of the things that I said to the students yesterday was a quote that I like from Lao Tzu, which is, it goes like this: watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. And watch your habits, because they become your character.
Right. And
watch your character, because it becomes your destiny. And so when we do these resolutions, what we're really doing, what I was thinking yesterday as we were talking to the leadership students is we're ingraining, they're ingraining in themselves these habits for life, for success. And so it's just such an important thing. And I think, setting those resolutions and talking about them is such a great dinner table conversation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's something we can all do.
Having goals is so important in life, and inspiring young people to set goals for themselves. It's a great thing that parents can do. And honestly, looking at fatherhood and being a father, helping young people set goals, helping your children set goals is huge.
Yeah.
So.
I think you were mentioning before the show started some goals that you have and that your wife had said a while back.
Well, definitely. I always set goals, and I try to make it very simple. I try not to establish a goal for the year that is you can't obtain. So for me, it's really about this year wearing sunscreen more often and stretching. more often.
All right.
So very simple things, but that will hopefully improve my health, and that's important for people to look at all the aspects of their life when they make their resolutions, right? And my wife, on the other hand, tries to be very general. One year she wanted to be very adventurous. It was a new year, and adventure was in her mind. So, being adventurous was her goal, and we went skydiving that year. So
skydiving, oh my gosh.
Skydiving is it's a fun thing.
Our intrepid producer, Mrs. Blanchfield, just made a face. Mrs. Blanchfield, you don't like the idea of skydiving as a resolution, living a little dangerously?
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right.
Adventure's not your idea of adventure?
I like adventure, but not when it comes from falling from the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, I might be a pancake myself. I get it. But you know what? I was just looking at, so Raphael Edgerlin is our student producer today, and he's over here. Rafi, what do you think? Do you think, just in honor of Mr. Moore, that we should have a sunscreen day where all the kids just come wearing sunscreen all blathered all over their face?
I think it would be good for health issues, so it would protect our skin better.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm just going to put it on my nose. Just
that zinc oxide. Yes. Everybody wears zinc oxide one day for Mr. Moore to remind me.
All right. Well, January is a really important month for all of our Catholic schools, and especially here at OLA, because this is the month where this is the month where enrollment really begins. And so we really start revving things up and start preparing to invite new families to our school. And I think all of our families really have an innate understanding that, a healthy school has a healthy enrollment. Mm-hmm. And so this month, speaking of resolutions, we just want our families to take that resolution of, if you know somebody who is looking for a school, a young family with kids in preschool, kindergarten especially, but even
Absolutely.
Other grades, if they're looking to make a change for their child, please, we would ask you to invite them to consider Our Lady of the Assumption School. Mm-hmm. We believe that this is a place where, as we like to say, that we are preparing the whole child for a lifetime of excellence here.
Right.
And so please help us get that message out to do that. And so we have a couple of really important dates coming up. The first takes place this Thursday.
That's right. Information Night.
OLA Information Night at 7 o'clock in St. John's. So if you know of anybody who's even thinking about, sending their kids to a school, have them get more information. Our faculty and staff will be here. We're going to make it a brief, probably a 1-hour presentation at the most, but just give them a chance to kind of get a feel for what this school is like, what our community is like. We'll have testimonials from our teachers. We'll have one from one of our parents, our PTG president, Mrs. Gustorf.
Sure.
And they'll be able to get many questions answered, because afterwards there'll be a breakout session where they can talk to different teachers or anybody, all the people who are going to be here. So that's a really key event for us. So if you know anybody, please let them know about OLA Information Night this Thursday at
7 o'clock.
7 p.m. Very good. And then, of course, as we get towards the end of the month, we have our biggest enrollment event of the year is open house. And so at our 9:30 Mass, our 8th graders lead us through that Mass. It's a really special Mass. We'll probably have a guest speaker there. And then after that, we go to the classrooms at 10:30 to noon. There's donuts and other snacks available for people. The rooms look amazing. Our teachers are all there sharing what they do in their classes. Our parents come and see the work that their students have been working on this year. And then it's a chance for new prospective families to see the classrooms, to meet the teachers, but also to get to know other parents in our community.
Absolutely. I know the rooms are going to be beautiful. Having subbing in the 4th grade. The 4th graders are working on their mission reports and their mission art. It's going to be incredible. So come see.
It's really interesting, Mr. Moore. I remember once one of our assistant superintendents came to our school, and it was right after Catholic Schools Week. And so I was just showing him the classrooms, and he was doing what we call in the business walking the walls. And what that means is when you're a principal observing a teacher, you're just kind of looking around the walls of the classroom to see what's up. And he was so impressed. He said that, wow, you guys at this school display student work, good quality student work, better than most schools that I've seen. And so that's just something that we do really well here. And that'll show for itself on back to school night. Okay.
Or open house.
On open house. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that correction.
No problem.
All right. Well, we have some exciting news.
We do. We do.
Would you like to share it with everybody?
Sure, on the Chromebook and the technology.
Yeah.
Absolutely exciting that these Chromebooks that long awaited, and talk about goals and resolutions, and technology is definitely a goal for us. So our Chromebooks are on their way in, and our teachers are going to a training on Friday. So to get themselves ready to utilize the Chromebooks with the Google Classroom, all the capabilities.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. Our teachers are, as we had mentioned earlier in the year, are really excited to be able to use those instructional tools for learning. And I know our students are as well. So those are on their way, they're ordered, and they're coming. So once again, we just want to thank all of our parents who at the auction back in October really stepped up and made this possible. So we'll have 2 sets of Chromebooks. And there's a possibility we're going to get more. We have our internet is also going to be bolstered here. So we're going to be getting
new fiber optic capabilities coming into the school. So it's going to increase the bandwidth and the ability to do research and all of that. That's so important.
Yeah, so we're moving forward. We're going to make sure that these kids are prepared for high school and all the tools that they use up at that level. All right, and finally, it's a new month. It's January, and so every month, as you know, our students really focus on a new virtue.
That's right.
And we focus on one of our SLEs. And so the virtue that we're going to be looking at this month, it's another one. These virtues are a mouthful very often. And this one is magnificence.
Magnificence. And
it's not like magnificent, although they have a similar meaning, but what it means is, I'm going to use the cheat sheet here, it means doing great things for God. For example, the ways that you would cultivate that would be to use one's talents for good, to act with generosity towards others. So an act of magnificence would be something that honors and is pleasing to God and is good for others. So it's a beautiful virtue, I would say.
Absolutely. And the opposite trait would be to, kind of wasting your time or wasting opportunity to serve God in a great way. So, again, it goes back to the resolutions. Are we choosing our time in a positive direction and focusing on something positive and doing great things for God, or are we kind of wasting the times that we have? And that's why it's important that we reflect on these virtues every month and bring them into everything we do, every aspect of the formation of the children here. So it's just amazing we can do this.
Right, and I've mentioned this before on our show, but the Jesuits have a saying, for the greater glory of God. That's magnificence. It's just that it's being mindful of the fact that life is a gift. It's a gift from God. God gives it to us. He loves us, and so therefore we're going to live our lives in a way that is giving glory to Him for what He offers. And then and what better way to give glory to God than to give an hour of your time?
Participate in the sacraments.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we this is something that you hear a lot from Father Edwino, and you hear it from us too. And this is going to be a drumbeat that we'll continue to do, because the SLE for this month is participate in the sacraments. And of course, that starts with the source and summit of our faith, Eucharist. Yeah. So on Sundays, we go to Mass. And, when we talk in our CSAC committees, the Catholic School Advisory Council committees, a lot of the talk in the individual committees about what can we do to better our school go around, we would sure love to see more families at Mass on Sundays.
What a great resolution.
Yeah, it's a great one. And
attend Mass more regularly and just take part in the sacraments. That's so important. It is such a great way to start your week. For sure. And it's fulfilling, satisfying, and of course we receive Jesus at that Mass. So, as we are talking, you're right, as we're talking about resolutions, consider attendance at Mass to be one. But there's other ways that we also observe the sacraments as well. And so there are many of them, but that will be the focus that our students go through this week. For sure.
All right, and do you remember in an early episode of our show, we had talked about the OLA question of the week?
I remember the question of the week.
Oh my gosh, what was that first question?
Well, the first question was pretty brutal.
Ralphie, come on up.
Ralphie, come up, show us what we got here.
Okay.
There it is. There's our repository for the questions of the week. And the first question of the week was shouldn't you guys call your show Two Faces for Radio?
Yes, that was it.
Well, I hope we don't get more questions like that.
Yeah, please, no more backhanded compliment questions. But if you have any questions, I think Ms. Blanchfield is saying that was actually a really good question.
A great question.
So, all right. So anyway, thank you, Rafi, for bringing this over. But so we'll have this up at the front desk, and it'll say OLA question of the week. So if you have a question, just
little
please
slot right there.
drop it right
Yep.
through the slot. So any questions, comments, and we're always looking for good material. So any good
Yeah,
jokes,
right. Drop 'em
Mr.
in
Lago
there.
Marcino would appreciate it for our morning announcements with
sure.
the kids. All right, Rafi, thank you. Well, Mr. Moore, we want to thank Raphael Edgerlin for being our student producer today, and of course the inimitable Miss Margaret Blanchfield
Absolutely,
for being
absolutely.
the brains behind the scene here.
For sure, for sure.
All right.
And Raphael has an announcement, right?
Make sure you like, share, and follow us on social media.
All right, good job.
Mr. Moore,
Mr. Love, remember.
love more than you think you can. God bless.